A sunny blue sky day in Israel on the eve of Sukkot. Sukkot starts this evening, that is. It's October the 6th, 2025. And of course, on the Gregorian calendar, that means that we've now been fighting, Israel has now been fighting against Hamas in Gaza since they started their attack 2 years ago on October 7th, 2023. And it's been 2 very difficult years for the Israeli people, as well as for the people living in Gaza, not to mention the hostages who are still in Gaza, as well as, including, of course, those who have returned one way or another. And it's been an increasingly difficult year for people around the world who have been caught up one way or another in acts of violence beset upon them by hate and anger. And now we are at a time when there's a great hope on the horizon. There's a great hope that this week, as Israel enters the Sukkot holiday, the Feast of the Tabernacles, as it were, that we will have an end to this war, or at least get all of our hostages back and win the kinetic goals of this war, so that Israel will not be threatened in the same way again. But of course, if you know anything about politics, it's always the process of how the sausage is made that determines what the final product is. And while there are a lot of reasons to be cautiously optimistic, there are also many realistic reasons to be at least a hint more than skeptical. Or even just skeptical, but very skeptical that this particular deal will not pan out as expected. Maybe parts of it will start. Maybe there'll be an exchange of some hostages, but not all. Maybe there'll be an exchange of all the hostages, but there won't be an agreement over who takes over, etc. In which case, Hamas is not likely to actually release hostages, certainly not all of them, because they know that's their only point of leverage if they keep fighting us. I mean, literally, there is nothing to stop the IDF from smashing them to bits if they give us all our hostages back and we continue fighting. And they know that. And that's why they're clinging to power as long as they can, because they fear what the IDF might do to them if they have no more hostages, yet they refuse to surrender and give up their arms and give up their political power in Gaza. So that's kind of a no-brainer. They're only going to give up all the hostages if they have some kind of guarantee that the amnesty that Israel is giving them is actually good, and that we're not going to chase them for any past crimes, involving October 7th until now. But um, again, there's a lot of reasons to be skeptical. But overall, this is a significant diplomatic win for Israel either way, and also a kinetic win, although it will probably come at an extremely heavy cost. Kinetic win, extremely heavy cost, is because, of course, if Hamas refuses to make peace, then Israel is likely to press on and finish the military operations, which will probably cost the lives of a number of soldiers, security people, and of course hostages. But if they agree to actually not fight anymore and stop the war, then it's a kinetic win with a lesser cost. It's in the sense of the end run here. And also, it's additionally a diplomatic win either way, because of all the parties who have signed on to this agreement. The fact that the United States and Israel have signed on to it, expected. The fact that Qatar signed on to it, you can say that's political theater, you can say that's politics, whatever. It is significant that they signed on to it, as well as Saudi Arabia, of course, and many other Arab and Muslim countries, and even the EU. Hello there. Chag Sameach. Kulam. Chag Sukkot Sameach. So, yes, there are significant wins because it means Israel has signed on to the same plan as all these other nations around the world, and the only people rejecting it are Hamas. That puts Israel in the driver's seat diplomatically and politically. And Hamas had better comply unless they want themselves, as well as the people that they oppress, to suffer even more. Now, of course, we know they want the Palestinian people to suffer even more, but they will themselves suffer more. They will suffer an unbearable price if they don't accept the end of the war, if they don't accept surrendering, as every other war has properly ended in history. One side surrenders, the other side wins, and then they make a peace treaty. Anyway, I know it's unlikely that that will happen, that they will make peace with us, but it is the reason for my cautious optimism, because it is possible. It may not be highly probable, but it is possible. That's it for now, folks. Take care. Chag Sameach.